1, 2, 3, go.
Rabbi say, Parshas Noach, Tovshin Pei Vav. Rabbi say, the new year, Baruch Hashem, Tavon and Tevel Bracha. We're singing it tonight, Baruch Hashem, Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan, the holy Mir Yehivah Akdosha. I wanted to start out with one of the most basic Kedushim for the Mir Yeshiva. I think it really changed our lives and all those that are listening remotely. Beginning, Rashi brings down the famous Rashi. It says, Noach was a tzaddik b'doirei sov. Doirei sov is a limitation. He was only a tzaddik in his generation. And Rashi bothers right away, he's bothered, is the Chayra, was he a tzaddik only in his generation? Why does it say Doirei sov? The Chayra is a universal tzaddik, right? You know, became a chassan of a kapanim. What's ruled at the pasuk from the Doirei sov? So Rashi says, Yes, Hashem Darsham L'Shvach. Something comes to tell you that he was a tzaddik in his generation. Imagine he would have been a chayes in a generation from the Tanoim, the Amirayim. You know, he would have even a much bigger tzaddik. Imagine among these poyas he was such a tzaddik. And all the Rebbe says, if his generation back could be tzaddik, but the Darshal Avram, who is Neshach L'Kum, you know, I'm a guy, you know, he thinks a kosher guy. Also, he comes to brisk and the guys like tearing him apart. He thinks he's a small yeshiva someplace. He's the top guy. Also, he comes over there with the lines of all the yeshivas, and all of a sudden he doesn't feel. So the Veld is the kasha. Rabbi say, it's good to come tonight. Rabbi say, hear this one thing, you guys. It's kedai for this one line. Why dash the kedai? We dash no shvach. I don't understand. If the Torah says, if you're not sure about a person how to darshan, you don't know who he is, so you have to, how you say, go both ways. You know what I mean? Play it both ways. Play it safe. Torah says, Noach ish tzadik tamim hoya b'day roisav sakim esach Noach. Torah says that Noach ish tzadik. Torah calls him a tzadik. So if you have two choices of darshan, why would Yesh Hashem darshan m'gnai? Everybody, everyone has a question? The kasha since what age? Since what age you knew kasha? Since what age is kasha about it?
Well, it's brand new, but it's a good one.
No, okay, well, yes, new is also good. But say chodesh rosh me'tayv, it's also good. A kapanim zog mazay. No, so if you had a kasha, but say talk to Mir Yehivah might dig us. But say this will change a lot. He said, what is the shvach that the Yesh Hashem say? What's the shvach? The what? The shvach is that it was a tzaddik in his generation, or a different generation could be even a bigger tzaddik. That's the shvach, right? So the Mir Yehivah. The other Yesh Hashem don't want to darshan that. Because what he's saying is that Noach could have been a greater person. Had he been a different generation, he would have been greater than he was. In essence, you're saying that he could have done more. So Shivi said, and the other rabbis said, hold, that's not a gnai. That's not it. They said that Darsham Shvach is Memes a gnai. To say about someone that he could have been better and he could have done this is really a big gnai. Because you're saying he didn't reach his full potential. That's what you get what I'm saying? They would rather say a different shot, which looks like a gnai, but it's not so bad, and say, we're as kosher. Okay, Rabbi say, if someone tells you, grada, you're grada a big lamdan, but you're not as big lamdan as a Moshe Feinstein. Would you be insulted?
Nope.
It's like $1 million. Wow, just compared to Moshe. You know what I mean? The guy says, he's a big gvir, this guy. He's grada not a big gvir, as the guy in the Forbes list. But he's just to compare him, wow, I know I'm at that league, wow, it's very kosher, right? That's itself a kosher, The fact that we're even comparing Noach to Avram Avinu and his generation is itself, it's not really such a gnai. It's really not so bad. But to say he could have done more, that they don't want to say. You hear this? So Yeshiva, why? It says because, in essence, Hashem expects of you to be the most you can possibly ever reach in the generation that you are now, in the situation you are now. Obviously, Noach was different. Cheshbon doesn't understand. I'm saying I was not coming to explain every point, but Hashem is coming to tell you. Torah is telling you. Hashem expects you to reach your madrega wherever you are. No such answer. A victim of circumstance. If only If only I had a chveis dot in a more choshev yeshiva, a better rebbe, a better this, a better that. If only, but that's the whole life of a person who remains a nobody, is always, if only. But that's a shvach answer, because Hashem is going to expect of you to reach your full madrega no matter who you are, no matter where you are. There's no excuses, Rabbi Say. There's no answer. I could have, I should have, I would have. So many times from the Netziv, how his parents saw he wasn't learning shtark, they wanted to become a watchmaker, and the Netziv went ahead and overheard them crying how bad they felt. They wanted to become a Talmid Chacham, and he went to Valozhin, and he became the Gedolei Ador. He was the Rishiva of Valozhin, and he make him the ganze oil Torah. But the many Talmidim came out from him, from under him, from his tutelage, from his teaching. So when it came to Shemayim, they told him, "Where's your Seforim?" What would the answer? What would the answer have been? What do you mean by Seforim? I was a watchman. What do you mean Seforim? How should I write Seforim? I barely knew what the famous she said, and that was the most able to do. What do you mean I should write Seforim? He said to him, no. These we could have accomplished. You had these time. You could have had the Vlozhin Yeshiva. You could have all this stuff. He said. Where's the accomplishment? Where is it? No such answer. Well, I didn't know. I didn't this and that. If I would have had a better yeshiva, a better place, lived on a better block, had a more choshev with a friend, had a better yeshiva. There's no such answer. Naftali Amstam was the answer. So Slan said, Rebbe, I wish I had your koiches, the Shagas Ayah's brains, you said the Shers Avoda's hearts. He said, no. With dein cup, with dein hearts, with dein kishonis, Hashem wants you to come with us. There's no such an answer. If only I had this, if only I could have done that, I could have become greater. If you could have become greater, you should become greater now. There's no excuse you could ever answer why you didn't do what he said. So many times in Shur, Rabbi say, it's called din and chesh. Rabbi, listen to what I'm telling you now. Din means we did good or bad, right or wrong. That's din. What's chesh mean? What you could have done. What you could have accomplished. You understand? The time you wasted a chveis with the World Series, and that time a chveis you could have learned another 20 block Gemara. So people, a lot of times, they'll focus on the din shaboy, right? The din. What I did do, what I didn't do, what I should have done. So Rashi says, cheshbon is much more. Cheshbon is what did you accomplish, what you could have done. That's a much harder thing to answer, Rabbi Isai. When Hashem tells the person what was expected of him, and what he should have done, or what he could have done, or what he did do. The cheshbon, you have to be careful for. Especially a person, Rashi said, that's a very smart guy. He's able to think of a lot of good ideas and everything else in life. They're called life hacks. You know what I mean? Like he knows a chayes how to tie your shoelace without bending down. A chayes how to drive a car without the steering wheel. He knows all the tricks of the trade. With all the tricks of the trade, he knows. So it's a bigger time of the guy. That's gemacht. That's evil chedushim. And where's the chedushim of learning? So I didn't get there. But you had such a cup, you had ice in a cup, what do you use it for? To make money? That's what you used it for. Where's the money now, Tom? No, cemeteries have no money there. Just stones, that's it. Where's it now? Who's the Kedushim? Where's the Talmidim? Where's the Shiurim? She once met a guy, he used to learn the yeshiva. She told him what he did, he was a brilliant bacher. She said, what do you do? Said he has an ice cream business. He makes, it's a wholesale. So she said, I said, coffee, he's a brilliant boy. He says, using coffee. He says, no, Rebbe, you don't understand. I manufactured so many new flavors I made up, he says. Like, no one even thought of them, he says. I have such many new flavors and new types and new this. That she said, he said, can glicklich machen the Welt. You could have made the Welt so happy with Torah, he says. And that's what you feel as a accomplishment in life. You made a different type of a different type of fudge ice cream. But boys, this parsha is the beginning of the year. Parshas Meyer. Parshas is usually very much, it's usually been as manam still. You know what I mean? Usually, it's a lot of times it's a short week. Because Isuchah can be sometimes even the Wednesday and Thursday. Like this week, this year. That's the first full week, and it's the first Rashi we start focusing on. Had you could have been better, Rabbi say. That's the question you have to ask yourself. What I could have accomplished in life. Baruch Hashem, people are young still, 120 years. Rabbi say you have to take this damnus now. Don't wait until I was tonight by Simcha with Talmud. and it's one of his children. I was trying to mechazik him. They should, to Tzachraim and learning. And he's made it sound like his age already and this, I said, Chabarai, no such thing. I said, there's no such thing. I told him, Meyer, with Mrs. Am Meltzer, Schwer von Waren Kotler, and Gäste Gedoilim, Yeshiva von Slusk, von Eitzchaim, in Shalayim. And his wife once says, his wife's name was Hinderbed. She came from a very kosher family. Her father's name was Abshraga Frank. He was a big Talmid Torah, and Ben Mamish, he very kosher Adams. So she was a kosher woman. So she told her husband once, why don't you write Seforim? I think his shvogers wrote Seforim. Why'd you write? She says, I don't know what to write. He said, I don't know what should I write. She says, I don't believe you give Shiur so many years. You don't have any chedushim. He says, I have some chedushim, but to write Seforim, to write a sefer. She says, let's write down. And she wrote for him. I'll do the writing, she says. And let's see what chedushim you have. And he told her, Grada, I have a chiddush on a Rambam, Grada, I always say a Shiur on this. Grada, I have a chiddush on another Rambam over here. Grada in Malva V'Loivin, and what do you call it? In Tony V'Nitten, have a chiddush on one word representing Cheshvuas and Eidus, and Rabbi say, she encouraged him. She helped. She wrote. Today you have Evan Ozel today. Which she was not Evan Ozel. 6, 7, 8, 9 volumes, Rabbi say. The can't say Evan Ozel you have today. Because she showed him. Yes. You can put out Seforim. His wife wasn't on Yeshiva. She wasn't on Makachia. She didn't have any, And it's when he first wrote the Seforim, when he first put out the Seforim, the first day he put out the first seifers, they put up the sign that he's going to sung them the first day. And imagine not too many people came. He said to his wife, I feel like I took good paper, I ruined it. Good paper, you can sell it. He says, Meisel Hashem, ganz felt to go anyway. Go Lakewood, Monzitz, Yisrael, here, Evan Ozel. You have to realize the koiches you have, and Hashem wants you to use those koiches. Koiches adirim that it's in you have. She said, you even know it. You have to have the avos HaTorah to bring it out. So when you see a parent can take care of a child, a child is just so difficult. Hashem Yerachim, not feeling well, but night, this, that. A regular person would go crazy, but the mother has the koiches to get up and to go and to do and to carry and to take care of. Because the ava she has for the child brings out the koiches. The other people don't have the ava, don't bring it out. You have to have the ava for Torah. We say the two brachas we say the morning at night for Torah. It's by Meyer we say ava sam aftanu. By Shachris ava aftanu. The brachas that talk about Torah always start lashon for ava. You have to have the Av and the Zach to be able to understand the Torah. The Av is Mekachas Hashua and brings out the Koiches Atmunis in the Mensch. Normally right you can't learn. Normally right it's above you can't. But the Av is a Torah you could have. That's his number one. I want to say this one more Akuda. And that is I want to say one more thing. Rabbi say, heard us tonight, Grada. The word from the Shiva was chizik to hear. It's on Bereshis, but Bereshis it's not have a Shiur on because it's Benas Manim. But it's again now also because Rashi is the famous kasha. Why do we start out the Torah Bereshis? Why do we start out talking about the mitzvahs of the Torah? So Rashi says, Koich Mazalawi, they should show us that we get Eretz Yisrael. And to show, the ganze Hashem's koiches, and then the Hashem's the Baal Boss in the world, and Hashem created the world, understand? So that's where we start out with Bereshis. So the Mir Yehivah is at the Mir Yehivah. The Meyer. The Goyim care what we say anyway. To show the Goyim that we're not robbers, we're not this. The Goyim care what we say anyway. The Goyim hein. The New York Mayor candidates care about what we say over here. They care. Listen to the Shiur tonight and say, what's the case on? The British world came, they're listening to us. So he said it's for us. Because se felt in our shleimus of doing the mitzvahs and the Torah, if deep down we feel we're ganovim. Deep down we feel it's really ours. Is it Torah really? Is it else really ours? It really belongs to us. We have a right to do it, even though we do it. But if you don't feel the balabatushkeit over Zach, you don't feel says dein Azach, the balabos from the Zach, What is it? No. 7 miles. No, what is it? The upcoming chasa now. Now that's it. Now the deck is cleared. Now the deck is cleared. Mazda. Kids, it's talking about say. That we have to start operations. It's not going to check his best. I love it as well. It's great. Have a big kiss on it. Let's just listen. Just 1 second. Let's listen. So it's a Mir Yehivah. What do you think is? I got a big kiss from this. He said it's for us. That we have to feel sure about what we're doing in life. We have to feel sure it's ours. The Torah is ours. The Welt is the Yisrael is ours. The mitzvahs are ours. The Mokim is ours. That's what you do with the ganze cheshbon, with the ganze fire, with the ganze chizuk. When you do something back in your head, should I do it? Do I really have to? Maybe Yisrael is not even really mine. I mean, I don't know. This, that. If you don't feel the confidence, you don't feel the chizuk, you don't feel it's yours, you don't feel Torah delay. She said about Meyer. He was once by a Kiddush, Shabbos. And there was a problem there. One of the goyim was stirring the pot too much. He plugged something in, he plugged something out. When I was kids, there was big shahs over there about, the Bishul Shabbos, Bishul Akim, Emil. So I know what to do. So the police were handling there. Should he, could he, what should you do? So the owner of the caterer came over to the Yeshiva. I'm sure going to go in the Chiddush, why you could, it was very hard to let this, it was very, Bishop called Tzorka, and Mamash Cheshbonis is very hard anyway, and Cheshbonis and Chidushim and Mamash Svaris, like Mamash Eluishkai. And I said, the Moscow, she was Moscow, Poisim and Moscow, and Takasei Larita. So she left the Kiddush, he said to people around him, it was next door in Young Israel, in the basement. So she left him, he said to the guys, he said, it's their caterer as the guest of Balkan Elke Shabbos. What's up? He came up with all this for us. He said, well, why him? Everybody else was there. Why he come up? That's because over here his life was invested. His God's a business. His God's Atzlocha. His name is on the line. It's his. It's ein Geschäft. The mind works different. Mine works in full gear, at full speed. You know what I mean? Full speed. When your money's on the line, you think differently. When it's Yedim's money, okay, well, I'll try my best. I'll see you about Tzlocha. And shout to Shmai, you know what I mean? They say my son, Shalom Shadron. A child once fell, was never bleeding. So Shalom picked him up and he's carrying him, to a doctor. So as he's carrying him, some lady sitting on the porch sees, and she says, Rabbi, is Yiddish about the chasana. Oh, heal up, don't worry, it's fine, it's Hashem, As the Shalom's getting closer, she's looking closer. She sees her child. Her name was Meyer. She starts screaming, Meyer! Oh, Kareem's crying. Shalom told her, he just said to us about the chasana, it's going to heal up. What's the problem? Now it's your Meyer kid, you think different. Now it's your child, you think different, I say. She wanted to tell us. The Reish Borah came. It's yours. You're about to boss over it. Says Deine Eretz Yisrael, says Deine Mokim, says Deine Zach. Go about it much differently. But you believe it's yours. And you know it's your name, it's your reputation, it's your bias. It's an Andre Chiz we do this, somebody say. Turn Asa delay. I want to know with one Akuda. This guy, one of the biggest retired I ever heard from Shiva. Says that after Mabel, listen, one minute. After Mabel, Noach brought carbon, and Hashem was so touched by the carbon. It says Hashem was so impressed by the carbon. He said, from now on, we never be a Mabel again in the world. That's it. No Mabel, and you can eat all the behemoths achayis now. In fact, to Yeshiva, I don't understand. It's a very simple question. Noach was very nice to bring up carbon. Very nice to go ahead and take care of the behemoths and chayis and everything. What was everybody else? Why? Because what he did 4,000 years ago has to do with us today. That if today people are not behaving, and other types of rishos, and this Hashem Yerachim. What does it tell us today that because of that, what Noach did then, that there should no me a marvel anymore again for the history of the world? You had a kasha by saying? She's a mighty good test. But I need you guys to listen 1 second. So the Muslim Sechta Yuma. That the Asad Lavi Zog the Gemara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to ask every person, why didn't you learn Torah like you should? Unless you're from the Boaz of Taka did, then you know the question. So there's 3 answers people give. 1, I was very rich. I was too busy. I had to manage all my money. I had to go to Manhattan. I had to go to property in Florida, in Arizona, Mexico, and I had to go to England and this. It's business. Another guy says he was too poor, struggling for money, had to pay tuition, nachas the kinder, get support, right? You know, he could. Third guy says Torah Yitzri, it's a horror, making him crazy. You can driving him up the wall and this and that. So Baruch says, hold on. He's going to show you a yid called Hillel Azokin. So this Hillel that couldn't even afford to pay the money to get into the Beis Medrash. What did he want? He climbed onto the roof in the middle of the snow to hear the shiur. He almost froze to death. They said to him, why would you like Hillel? Why would you like that also? He had no money, he had no this, no that. He probably didn't eat supper that night. But he wanted to do with Kim Chaim, he wanted the roof to hear it. Why did you be like that? What kind of excuse that money? The guy says very rich, I was in Charsum, was a lot richer than you, was far left from up 1,000 cities, and this and that, and ships and mices. He said, take a little lunchbox. He didn't order Uber Eats. He didn't order, food. He took a little lunchbox with a sandwich and went to learn. That's it. He told me busy the Yetzirah. He says he's Yosef Atzadik. The Yetzirah was much worse. He said, I learned. Also became a Gadol Torah. So kids had no excuse. I'm sorry. I'm not Halazokin. For me, there's no air conditioning and full blast in yeshiva. I go to the dorm, take a nap. I'm sorry. Dashing breaks. I can't. I need air conditioning. What do you want? It makes me lethargic. Makes me tired. I don't go onto roofs when it snows to hit. I'm not that level. What kind of time is the person? Okay, so as a chassan, guy says I like to measure vessels myself. I don't trust other people. You know what I mean? They say in Yiddish, "Mit fremde Händen bestoffen cold." With other people's hands, you use them to mix the fireplace, because you usually get burnt. When you touch the coal. Those let the guy do it. The guy can do it. You don't money. I don't want. The guy says, so it's something. He's also on a holy right. What kind of? He doesn't have the koiches. What's the shot? So the Yeshiva says, no. Hashem tells them. Once they did it, they picked up the ganze Welt, and we can do it too. They were a sample to us. They showed us. They were mechazik us. We were zeichen this way, Smenish, I was zeichen done. There's a Rosh Yeshiva here. That shows who came is. Now we can do it also. No such thing. I'm not in the Madrega. He showed you could do it. He was a living and breathing human being, and he did it. He showed me can yet done. But the Yeshiva, that's Noach also. Once Noach did what he did, how he overcame all the sinners from the world. Everyone was living quote unquote, doing whatever they wanted. He was such a tzaddik. And in the table, he sat there feeding all the Be'emes Achayis and everything else in between. What was the thank you he got? The line goes ahead and then breaks his, and then bites him, and this is Hashem Yerachem. He brought up the ganze Welt, I say. He learned the ganze Welt. He picked us all up. That Adayam Hazeh, even if we sin, it doesn't really come from the Mensch Alein. It doesn't come from Mensch Alein, he says. That he was destroying the ganze Menschlichkeit. We're different because of Noach. So the Messiah Shor wasn't a to us. He says we don't live in a vacuum. We're all going in one boat. We're all singing. We're all sailing on one ship here. The stars are when you do something. When you do something good, you learn stark. You marine yourself and the ganze Welt with you. You bring a ruach HaTorah to Beis Medrash, even though it's almost been as man and just started. This going on, that going on. You learn with Hasmad, with Chizuk. You bring them up with you. And Chas V'Sholem, when he said on Yonam Beis Medrash, Chasham Shmuzi Chavrusa, or this and that, he says you bring down the people. We all feed off each other. We all have ashpah from each other. But to learn from Noach, the koyach we have, the surrounding answer of what we do. Just want to end with one line that she used to say. They said Noach brought a korban. Because Hashem said, "I'm going to marble again." What? So why talking to me to come before the marble then? It's such a koyach to make such a hebel, such a mapecha, to make such a sola. It says only after the marble. After he went ahead and did as a chesed. He fed all the behemoths, fed all the chayas. He lived through as a year from the teva of such a dvekas b'Hashem, such tefillah sitting alone in the world over here, the world raining down, mamish, fire and brimstone, and he's sitting there at that teva, pleading with Hashem, save me. Please Hashem, let me build a new world for you. Such a closest to Hashem brings out Zakarban. I got a call today from a Magichin, Monday, a big Kuzak got a call. It's not a T4 moment. And he told me, he said over his Talmidim, this word that we said last week on Yeshiva, it says Hashem listened El Hevel ve El Menchasli. The El Kain. What do you say? Usually he sneezes on the truth. He says, but Chaim Menchasli he didn't listen to him. What's Lashon? El Hevel ve El Menchasli. El Kain ve El Menchasli. What's that double Lashon? She says, Hashem doesn't need carbon. Hashem needs you. That's what she says. Hashem doesn't need your carbon. Hashem doesn't need your name. Hashem needs you. Hevel brought himself to the Rebbeinu Shalom. He was Makar himself. He came with a scarves to Hashem like Noach did. That's why he built such a reach nichoyach that forever the only know the Malmud of Velta, they say. But Cain didn't do that. El Cain! The Elmud Chosed Leishar. Zoichatach come down a trigger. The rest of the carbon is the chizik liman at Torah by say. Hein says the Shmuel-Parshas said hein the carbon today is the Torah by say. Zoichatach the taka bring ourselves carbon akriv. Give yourself completely over to the Torah, over to this matter by say how much we can accomplish with the Shem. Learning the nice one Baba Kama now. How much person can accomplish by Zoichatach the taka have Slocha de Gizman. She's ending in the Sechta. Sach an dem sagt das euch da hob. Ich versuche sie Tag die Schuhe schon mit Chodesh, obwohl es sind gar mehr.
Oh man.